this instalment of Tackle and Bait. Today we're going to have a look at tying a certain pop-up rig, different components on which we use to do so, its effectability so it doesn't get tangled, and how it presents on the bottom being a critically balanced bait. So let's have a look. So here I've got my Jurassic Tackle bag, and today we're going to be looking at tying a pop-up rig. Now what I've got here with me today, I've got some Jurassic pop-ups. I've got Jurassic 80-pound big fish braid, which I'm going to use as a hook link. I've got some bait screws. These are one of the new tackle additions that we're supplying now. Nice bait screws. I've got some size 2 boilie hooks, which I'm going to use to tie the rig. They're nice Teflon coated, so there's no shine to them. And I've also got here some Jurassic anti-tangle sleeves. Now these work brilliantly when you cast bait. It makes sure that it protrudes away from the lead, it kicks it away from the lead. It's a brilliant addition. So I'm going to start by taking my braid, cut off a length here around 18 inches so I can get started. Take one of my hooks, now it's worth noting that all these hooks come as barbed, and it's just down to yourself to crimp them, or one of our staff can do so, one of the fishery team. So just going to make this nice and simple. I'm going to tie on one of the bait screws. This is basically where you form a loop in the hair itself. So I'm going to get one of these out and have a look. I've got a hook coming through the back of the eye, as you would with a hair rig. The next step, I'm going to take my bait screw, I'm going to thread that through. That's in place. Now what I'm going to do, take that into position. Now okay. This is just all about setting basically now what length we want that kicking off. So I'm going to keep it nice and short, I'm not going to have it too long. And basically keep your tag end out of the way and tie just a normal hair rig. I'm going to kick that off to this side, out of the way. I'm just going to tie just a normal hair rig. I'm going to give it 1, 2, 3, 4 and back down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as we did before, I'm going to go back through as we would with a normal hair rig. Now this braid is quite thick for the eyes, but as long as you keep things neat and tidy, I'm just going to bed that down now. Bear in mind here, we're going to actually end up with 2 tag ends. One's going to form your hook link, and one's going to form your actual tag end, which we're going to remove shortly. So as you can see there now, what we've got is we've got a nice simple rig, same as you'd fish with a pop-up, but instead of having a hair to attach a pop-up, instead we've got a bait screw. Now that's the most important part of this, that difference there. So it's nice and simple, nice simple setup. You can see the bait screw coming off the back. Just lay that flat in my hand and you can see it kicking off. Nice, same. Take my scissors, trim off that tag end. Now if we take one of our pop-ups, now I'm going to use quite a small pop-up, that's just down to personal preference. I'm going to go for a nice dark small pop-up. If you get your bait screw, now what we can do here is we'll literally secure it in place with a finger, screw that into position now. Really simple pop-up setup. Nicely fixed in place, isn't going to go anywhere. take one of these anti-tangle sleeves out. In my tackle bag, got my baiting needle. So I'm going to use this, I'm going to come through the fat end first. Push that all the way on. Get my braid, get my uplink. I'm just going to double this over. Basically use my baiting needle to pull this on, thread it into place, put it down. Now you won't see the benefit of this until I actually put it onto. Yeah, granted that is still a flexible uplink, but because of the pressure that it's under as it goes out, that'll always kick it off to one side. That's what we want, it just avoids tangles. Your anti-tangle sleeve goes over your swivel, it's going to kick that uplink away from your lead. Perfect. Put my pop-up back on, I'm going to have a look how this sits in the water. I'm just going to lower this, I'm just going to drop this into the water. See that pop-up sitting absolutely perfect on the bottom. It's lovely. Tip heavy, as you can see. Absolutely spot on. That's what you want. So I like it myself. That tip's hanging down. It's going to get in that bottom lip every time. Do you choose to use a larger pop-up in conjunction with a small shot? That's basically how it's going to sit on the bottom. You can see I've just trimmed this down just to match, and that's perfect. Alternatively, you can use a bigger pop-up and a small shot, and that's very slow sinking, goes down perfectly, and that's going to sit a bit less brutal on the angle. You can see there the tip's still heavy, but it's a lot less aggressive if this is more of your preference. Perfect. Fish comes into position, sucks that up, that's going to hit the bottom lip every time.